I accidentally stepped a maggot to death. But the system told me I had slaughtered a dragon. I slapped a cockroach to death casually, and unexpectedly got the god-tier skill Undying Body. Even the system doubts if I have another system myself. I transmigrated to a parallel world where people can cultivate. But not only do I have mediocre talent, the system I got is also a total dumbass. One day I was taking a noon nap, when the system's voice suddenly rang out. King tier star beast, undying cockroach detected. There's no time to run. Host, please leave your last words quickly. What the hell are you yapping about again? This is just a cockroach. Sure, it's a bit bigger. And uglier. But can it be bigger than my shoe sole? Detected host killed a beast king above his level. Rewarded with divine talent. Undying Body. All damage taken will recover rapidly. Piss off, you're talking nonsense again. I was just about to start cursing, when a surge of powerful energy suddenly flooded into my body. I clenched my hands tightly, and actually sensed the existence of true essence. You can only cultivate in this world with true essence. No way, man. You're actually for real. But when I thought it over carefully, aren't I just more durable than ordinary people now? I still need to lay low and develop steadily. I work as a security guard at a library, responsible for managing some martial art manuals. In the following days, I immersed myself in the ocean of knowledge every day, even though I practiced extremely hard. My natural talent was really too poor. I practiced for a whole month straight, and still couldn't learn even one manual. What a bummer. These are even entry-level ones. Right when I was about to go out for a smoke, a pleasant voice popped up. Beast Emperor aura detected. Host, please run for your life immediately, or you will lose your life. Do you believe this crap? Or do you believe I'm Qin Shi Huang? Species, Purple Soul Demon Spider. Level Emperor Tier Talent. Innate Spiritual Intelligence. Likes studying human martial arts. Holy shit, it's really Emperor Tier. Damn you, you are literally asking for death. I was so blind to trust you. Host actually killed an Emperor Tier star beast above his level. Rewarded with heaven-defying martial perception, plus 20 years of cultivation base. Innate Realm, I laughed out loud. It is said that the entire Zhanghai city only has 3 innate realm masters. I finally have the ability to protect myself. I suddenly remembered, I seem to have got some other heaven-defying thing just now. All the martial art manuals I read before appeared in my mind instantly. Bree's sword skill reached great mastery. 7-star step reached great mastery. This heaven-defying comprehension is more like an enlightenment space. After the cultivation techniques I read are practiced inside it, I can master them immediately. A bold idea popped up in my head. Can I try creating my own martial art? Thinking of this, I immediately went back to the library and only picked sword art manuals to read. All the text I read was memorized instantly, and in just a few days, I mastered over a dozen sword arts to full perfection. After over 10,000 practice sessions, I finally merged them into a powerful innate sword art. I went to the suburbs with a single thought. The sword intent hummed. The sword energy in my hand turned into a 10-meter-long sword light. After I swung it out abruptly, the sword light tore through the air and split an entire hill into 2 in an instant. I'll name this move One Sword Opens the Heavenly Gate. Before I could show off, I suddenly sensed several auras flying towards me fast. No good. I have to lay low first. I cast 7-star step immediately and disappeared right on the spot. In the next few days, I still hung out in the library, no other choice. I'm just way too eager to improve. But the fact that I split a hill open casually actually blew up on the hot search. The whole Zhanghai city is talking about it. Who on earth this great swordmaster is? I thought I could hide in the library for a while, but the appearance of a little girl brought me a new surprise. Female Emperor's whereabouts detected. Host, please kowtow and take her as your master right now. Me, looking at this 18-year-old little newbie in front of me, I was totally confused. I always thought the female emperor wouldn't look like this. Shouldn't she be a cold, stunning, mature woman? While I was hesitating, a data panel popped up. Name, Liu Ruyan. Lifespan 500. 118 years old. Level, Emperor Realm. Full perfection. Holy shit, you're actually for real. No nonsense. I went up to talk to her immediately. After a chat, I found out this little girl is indeed called Liu Ruyan, but she is only 18 years old. A sudden flash of inspiration hit my brain. I've finally seen through this stupid system. What we saw are the evolved versions from 500 years later, whether it's cockroaches or spiders. They only got super powerful 500 years later. Damn, I gotta be more respectful when I talk to Brother Tong later. But right now, Liu Ruyan is just a weak little acquired realm rookie. Compared to her, I'm way older and way stronger. If I go up to ask her to be my master, I'll definitely be taken as a creepy old guy with bad intentions. But I can't bear to miss out on the big boss's rewards after all. So for the next few days, I followed her around secretly the whole time, to see if I can find a chance to just kneel to her. After observing for a while, I found out Liu Ruyan is actually a sword cultivator, and she's a student of the Martial Arts Academy's principal. She's the widely recognized top genius, until I followed her to the site, where I sliced off a mountaintop with a single sword. No way, is this girl my huge fan? Suddenly an idea popped into my head. Who says I have to follow the system's script? If the system tells me to retreat, I'll just kill the enemy instead. I'll still get the reward, right? Of course I can't kill Liu Ruyan, but wouldn't it be way cooler if I make her beg me to be her master? This little girl has pretty good talent. Then I put on a black robe and a bamboo hat on my head and landed right in front of her in a flash. Time to show off. The sword intent left from that earlier sword strike is still wailing in the wind even now. The wind here is way too noisy, I mumbled as I waved my hand. Everything went dead silent in an instant. Liu Ruyan's face changed drastically. The sword energy even her mentor couldn't match was easily dispelled by this old man just like that. Could you be that legendary sword sovereign? Detected the Empress is very close. Opportunity will be gone in a flash. Host, please kowtow and ask to be her disciple immediately. Shut the hell up. Huh, you have extremely good talent. Would you like to be my disciple? Liu Ruyan shook all over when she heard that. Is this massive luck really this unreal? The expert I've been dreaming of wants to take me as his disciple. Without even thinking, she kowtowed 3 times loudly to me right away. The system seemed to be stunned. It lagged for a second before giving the notification. Holy shit, the Empress actually knelt to you. You're so brutal! Congratulations to Host for obtaining the Ziwei Divine Sword. Obtained Emperor-level movement skill. Heaven-slashing sword drawing technique. Plus 50 years of cultivation power. Great. Your master likes peace and quiet. Don't tell anyone about what happened today. Then I quickly found a hidden valley. The rewards from the Empress are indeed top tier. The moment the Ziwei Divine Sword left its sheath, the whole world shook. The clear sword chime broke through the clouds with Ziwei's divine glow. It immediately alerted all the big shots in the entire Zhanghai city. Next was refining the 50 years of cultivation power. The thick, true energy formed a huge vortex and poured crazily into my body. My cultivation also broke through to the peak of innate realm half-step grandmaster. Finally, I took out the D-class unique skill I've been craving the most. Heaven-slashing sword drawing technique. By now, the outside of the valley was already packed full of people, including the Martial Arts Academy principal and the new armed police department chief, plus a bunch of other experts. But the raging sword pressure inside the valley made no one dare to take even half a step forward. They vaguely saw a figure in white. The sound of drawing the sword was like a dragon's roar. As soon as the sword was drawn, the void collapsed. Just the killing intent it emitted made everyone outside the valley tremble with fear. Emperor-level secret manual really lives up to its reputation. I've practiced this move countless times in the Enlightenment space. I don't know how much time passed. I let out a long breath of turbid air. I've mastered the heaven-slashing sword drawing technique. This time I still hid my achievements and identity. I yawned and left quietly. But as expected, this incident made the headlines again. That valley even became some sort of kendo wonder. The next day I showed up at the library on time as usual. Before I reach the top spot, I will definitely not reveal myself. Just when I was about to go explore the second floor of the library, the system's voice suddenly blared. Detected red-level blood demon. It's extremely dangerous. Host, please run away immediately. Scratch that. Host, send your disciple to kill the enemy right now. Wow, these monsters spawn really often. Rewards don't matter that much. It's just that this mission is too tricky, hey? It's safer for me, your master, to go myself. After I arrived at the central lake, I found the situation didn't seem that urgent. Dozens of fully armed guards were stationed on the shore, and leading them were the only 3 remaining innate realm experts in Zhanghai City. Suddenly a blood-red monster leaped out of the water. It's a huge blood-sucking leech. The 3 innate masters immediately fought it fiercely. One of them is the Martial Arts Academy Dean. actually relying on the insight he got last night. He only used a simplified version of the sword drawing technique. Too bad the blood leech fought 3 people at once. It didn't fall behind at all. It let out a weird shriek. Poisonous blood spurted everywhere. All the hit police officers got poisoned and died. Even the dean and the other 2 were badly injured. Right then, a figure flew across the middle of the lake. Sword opens the heavenly gate. That's my good disciple. This full power strike from Liu Ruyan cut a huge bloody gash on the leech, but it also drained all her inner energy. Even her sword shattered into pieces. When the leech lunged at her, she had no strength to fight back at all. I sighed softly. Guess I can't hide my identity as the Zhanghai sword god anymore. Sword energy stretches across 30,000 miles. A single sword chills 19 provinces. Come to me, my sword. Master is making a move. The leech was pinned down by raging sword energy and couldn't move. The purple way divine sword pierced right through its body. Its huge red body exploded with the lake water with a loud boom. Its final confused look seemed to be asking this big shot. The system's trembling voice rang out. Host instantly killed the yellow rank blood demon. Reward, God rank unique skill. Blood, God art, plus 20 years of skill power. To avoid drawing attention, I ran straight to the outer suburbs. 20 years of cultivation. I refined it right away. My body was already at the peak of the innate realm. I leveled up instantly, feeling the powerful strength surging inside me. Master Realm powerhouses are really as strong as they say, and this blood god art is totally up my alley. I can condense a blood god avatar using my essence blood. Doesn't that mean I can work several part-time jobs at the same time? My salary will go up multiple times right away. The news that I killed the blood demon with 1 sword soon reached the higher-up big shots, but what they were most worried about was the 3 top powerhouses in Zhanghai almost got wiped out by a freaking bug. They immediately sent an inspection team to guide work later. I kept lying low as a full-time security guard at the library. For me, this is literally a book collection pavilion. As I absorbed more and more sword art manuals, the sword opens the heavenly gate skill is also getting more complete. It's slowly taking after a master rank unique skill. Even if you compare my current strength, I'm one of the very best in the whole province. I lived a pretty peaceful life for a while, until I went home late one night. I fucking ran into a ghost in the community. I live in an old residential area on the edge of the city. When I climbed up to the 6th floor, in the freezing cold hallway, a sharp ghostly scream suddenly sounded. A figure in flowing white clothes, with long hair covering her face, appeared under the lamp. Combined with the dim light from the sign, it felt like I was in the underworld. Even the approaching science show would say this is unscientific. When I was debating whether to fight or run away, a system alert suddenly popped up in my head. Detected yellow rank spirit beast, 9-tailed fox. A wise man submits to fate. Host, please evacuate immediately. 9-tailed fox, Taiji rank named Wu Bei. How dare you show off trivial skills in front of an expert? I can tell at a glance you're not human. What the fuck is wrong with you? Species, 9-tailed spirit fox, rank, early innate realm skills. King Q illusion. I'll give you 2 ways out. Either recognize me as your master and take orders from me, or turn into a fox fur vest in my closet. A scholar can be killed but not humiliated. You are my master from now on. After getting home, she did housework while begging for mercy. She usually likes to pretend to be a ghost to scare people. Scare people unconscious, then suck a little spirit energy. She just didn't expect that in this shabby neighborhood hide such a powerful expert. Suddenly, I slapped my thigh. I remembered something important. You stupid system, are you playing dead? Where's my reward? Come on, bro. A beast emperor level demon. You're using it as a part-time housekeeper. Congratulations to host for obtaining the Xiang visualization technique. Plus 20 years of cultivation. It immediately pushed me firmly to mid-stage master realm. And this Xiang visualization technique is actually a cultivation skill specifically for mental power. Looks like it won't be long before I become an all-round genius. The next day I went to Duanfeng Mountain. I planned to test my new skills. I didn't expect to run into Liu Ruyan here by coincidence. Dusk was falling now. She looked all alone and extremely helpless. My spiritual sense kept picking up her messy, upset thoughts. Something is very wrong. Extremely wrong, 12 out of 10. Her energy is all messed up. She's way too agitated. My disciple is about to go berserk from flawed cultivation. No way! I can't let my walking reward tree get into trouble. Disciple? A sword master who calls himself the Prairie Sword Sage. He's going around challenging all sects with his apprentice. This master and apprentice are freaking strong. They win every fight wherever they go. And Liu Ruyan is going to represent Jianghai City as its top fighter to face the Sword Saint's apprentice. She knows full well she can't win. But this fight concerns the honor of Jianghai City, so she's under enormous pressure right now. Fuck, life's already hard enough. But since your master is right here, you don't have to be scared of anyone. Right after saying that, I tapped Liu Ruyan's forehead with my finger. Intense swordsmanship insights were instantly injected into her sea of consciousness. Compared to an emperor-level grand gift, this little crap is nothing. But this totally stunned Liu Ruyan. She knelt down and kowtowed 3 hard times to me. Then Liu Ruyan spoke again. Master, you have to watch out for this Grandmaster. The Peak Realm Sword Saint's purpose for coming to Jianghai City is specifically for you. Did I provoke him or something? Do you get a treasure chest? For challenging me. But then I thought again, no one knows what I look like anyway. I can just say I'm out of town on business, problem solved. Thinking of that, I didn't even bother keeping up my act and hurried out of this messy place. In the following days, I went to the 2nd floor of the library. With my spiritual sense assisting, the Blood Divine Art is getting more and more handy to wield. I was just about to open short videos to relax. But the first clip I swiped to was news that the Grassland Sword Saint brought his apprentice and had already arrived in Jianghai City. The Sword Saint is named Tang Ba. His apprentice is named Xiao Huo. Thinking this had nothing to do with me, I was just about to swipe past when the system's notification rang in my head. Detected Emperor-level demon swordsman Xiao Huo has appeared. Even the Empress can't handle him this time. Host, please run away immediately. Holy fuck, Emperor level? If you put it that way, I'm wide awake now. I did a quick calculation. If I use all my trump cards, taking out his Sword Saint Master is no big deal. But I had a clever idea. I still have Liu Ruyan as my professional stand-in fighter, right? Besides, it doesn't say I have to kill him. Beating him is enough. Thinking of that, I rushed to the arena right away. The arena was completely packed now, and had drawn worldwide attention. I stared at Xiao Huo below the stage. His info popped up right in front of me. Name: Xiao Huo. Age: 517, level Early Emperor Sovereign Realm. I'm so hyped, so hyped. I can't wait to get my hands on this little guy's loot. Liu Ruyan and Xiao Huo both used their ultimate moves at the same time. In the blink of an eye, their swords clashed dozens of times. Both of their sword intents were laced with killing intent, showing the peak of swordsmanship. For a moment, the fight turned into a brutal life-and-death battle. After a dozen rounds, the two were still evenly matched, and both of them had multiple injuries on their bodies. With a loud boom, the two backed away from each other. The young man laughed maniacally and howled up at the sky, and went completely feral. The sword pressure he emitted rose violently. He even used the Sword Saint's secret ultimate move. 10,000 swords return to origin. One sword opens the heavenly gate. The coaching I gave her the other day wasn't for nothing. Liu Ruyan swung her long sword, as if splitting the sky. The sword light was unstoppable, and went straight for Xiao Huo's face. A thunderous explosion went off. The raised dust instantly covered the entire arena. It took a few minutes to see the two on stage clearly. Xiao Huo's sword was broken. He was kneeling on one knee, his face deathly pale, and he kept coughing up blood. Liu Ruyan stood holding her sword, the tip of her sword pointing right at Xiao Huo's forehead. The victory was decided. Deafening cheers erupted from the stands. The whole venue was chanting Liu Ruyan's name. I slouched back in my seat in a comfortable position. No need to guess, that dumb system must have scared itself offline again. It took ages before a trembling notification sound came. Host, you didn't even personally step into the ring and you took down the Emperor Realm Demon Swordsman. There were too many people just now. I'm kneeling to you right here. Reward: 100 years of cultivation. Can directly raise you to peak Grandmaster Realm. Reward: God-tier movement skill, a step across the world. Received 1 volume of the Zhuantian Pill Sutra. Damn, I scored big again. Now that the current goal is achieved, I didn't stay any longer, and quickly found a quiet, secluded spot, and started refining these insanely good rewards. In just 1 month, I jumped from early Grandmaster Realm to peak Grandmaster Realm. But when I think about how later there will constantly be monsters at Emperor Realm and Emperor Sovereign Realm popping up, I can't help sighing. The path of cultivation is really long and tough. A programmer transmigrated to a beast-inhabited world. He got his engagement called off by his fiancée right off the bat, and got kicked out of his family home. What fascinates me most is this Mystic Sky alchemy scripture. Alchemists in this world are far rarer than three-legged toads, that's no exaggeration. If I can master this with the help of the Enlightenment space, I'll be completely unstoppable right away. In the following days, I've been grinding alchemy skills non-stop in the Enlightenment space. But this crap is so damn brain-racking. Just when I wanted to get some herbs to practice with, a live stream notification on my phone caught my interest. Tangba the Prairie Sword Saint is publicly challenging the River Sea Sword Saint at Duanfeng Mountain. I already got all the rewards, so I don't want to get mixed up in this again. But this old guy's insults are really harsh on the ears. Looks like he's been trashing me for several days already. Why can't I even hide from this mess? Suddenly a familiar figure flashed past. Your actions really let us juniors see clearly. My master disdains to take a clown like you seriously in the slightest. Liu Ruyan's 2 words hit right where it hurts. Tangba had been left hanging for so long, he was already super irritable. Now he got humiliated by a young girl on top of that. His face instantly turned uglier than pig liver the next second. He flicked his long sword toward Liu Ruyan. It swept over like the heavy pressure of a whole mountain. Liu Ruyan immediately started bleeding from her nose and mouth. This girl has a real sense of loyalty, but she's kind of lacking common sense. Just when she was about to be killed by the impact, suddenly the space distorted, rippling with huge energy waves. A figure in black crossed the void and appeared right beside Liu Ruyan. This old bastard dared to touch my resource tree. He's practically asking to be killed. The second he saw me, Tangba's eyes filled with almost maniacal fighting spirit. The two of them clashed swords, immediately causing abnormal changes in the weather. I don't feel like wasting time with him. With a low buzzing sound from the sword, the violet weave, divine sword appeared in my palm with glorious light. I'm in a hurry. One move is enough to decide the winner. I squatted slightly, turned sideways to gather power, rest my hand on the hilt of the violet weave sword. The heaven-slaying sword skill instantly gathered boundless killing intent. Tangba's face changed drastically. He immediately used his perfected 10,000 swords return to origin skill. Killing aura burst out from his whole body. Countless dense sword shadows flipped around, as terrifying as dark clouds covering the entire sky. The contrast between the moving and static sides was extremely stark. Tangba pressed his 2 fingers together. A huge river of sword energy poured down, just like the sky and sea collapsing at once. I jerked the hand holding the sword hilt hard. A dazzling sword light burst out, powerful enough to wipe out all mountains and rivers. The 2 surging sword forces collided and tore at each other. The resulting roar was deafening. In an instant, blinding sword light exploded everywhere. The live stream footage captured by cameras turned completely white right away. The viewers went totally crazy. After a few seconds that felt like years, the sword light finally faded away. People could see the battlefield clearly again. The mountain ridge was completely shattered. The valleys were shaved flat into open ground, and I was still standing between heaven and earth. The violet weaved divine sword kept humming happily. Though Tangba was also hovering in midair, blood was dripping from the corner of his mouth. His face was deathly pale. The sword in his palm had turned into fine dust. Not even the hilt was left. I lost. Tangba's eyes lost all their light, letting the dust between his fingers blow away with the wind. We weren't even on the same level at all. It was a total one-sided beatdown. He didn't even drop any rewards. This fight was totally not worth the effort. After saying a few words to Liu Ruyan, I planned to leave too. But hey, old man, you've been insulting me for so many days. Don't keel over and die after I leave, okay? My afterimage slowly melted away, turned into tiny starlight, and vanished between heaven and earth. Tangba's face, which had just calmed down, instantly went blank. A clone. The real River Sea Sword Saint didn't even move an inch. I used everything I've learned my entire life, and I couldn't even beat a mere clone of his. Confusion, fear, shame. All sorts of messy emotions flashed across Tangba's face. In the end, he got dizzy. Rage completely took over him. He spat out a big mouthful of blood directly. River Sea Sword Saint. So I'm just this worthless in your eyes. The Sword Saint closed his eyes in despair and passed out right on the spot. Tangba's cultivation Dao heart was completely destroyed. I opened my eyes in a cubicle of the library and let out a lazy yawn. After this battle, Duanfeng Mountain was renamed Sword God Valley to permanently honor the fame of the River Sea Sword God. just when I thought this whole thing was over, and I could focus on studying alchemy full-time. A system notification popped up right in my head. You idiot just pissed the Sword Saint to death. Detected the Sword Demon holds bitter hatred for the host. He will never stop until one of you is dead. Send your disciple to kill the Sword Demon immediately. What? That old prairie geezer is so petty. Wait, I swear I've seen this plot somewhere before. Oh no. This Sword Demon's last name is Xiao Tu. Don't bully the poor young man, is that your bit? You think you can pull this cliché on me? The day I return to River Sea, everyone in River Sea will be buried with me. I heard every word clearly from the roof. Nice speech, buddy. Too bad you'll never make it back. A chill shot up the guy's feet out of nowhere. His sense of crisis blew up instantly. Cold sword energy brushed past like a soft breeze and sliced right across his neck. The future Emperor Realm Sword Demon Clansman. Detected host one-shot killed the Sword Demon. Reward, Dao Forging Secret Manual. Plus 50 years of cultivation power. I ignored the chattery system broadcast for the moment. Figured I should bury this guy in the turtle first. The second I touched Xiaohu's corpse, a weird true energy pulse came from his right hand. Holy shit, they're 2 star rings. Guess the old guy and the kid each had one. Figured the Sword Saint saved a ton of wealth his whole life. I grinned so hard my mouth almost reached my ears. Thanks for the free loot, Mother Nature. After wiping off all traces in the room, I brought the old guy and the kid to the waterside. I flicked my spiritual sense, and they turned to ash instantly. Since you love River Sea so much, you can stay here as fish bait. After I got home and absorbed the 50 years of cultivation, my cultivation reached the peak of the Grandmaster realm. The nine-tailed fox was totally stunned. Is he actually a genius? I also learned that the realm above Grandmaster is the Supreme Realm. But to step into the Supreme Realm, you have to comprehend the power of rules. Before that, you're only a half-step Supreme. But I'm in no rush, with my current combat power. I can run wild anywhere in the world easily. I suddenly remembered I looted 2 star rings earlier. The second I opened them, I yelled, holy shit. Spirit stones were piled up like hills. All kinds of expensive medicinal herbs were there too. Plus tons of sword art manuals including the famous 10,000 Swords Return to Origin technique. These master and disciple are straight up walking treasure chests. After constant experimenting these days, I've got the hang of the basics of alchemy, but pill refining needs either earth fire or beast fire. Earth fire is controlled by the government. I don't want to deal with that hassle. After thinking for a bit, I decided to go into the mountains tomorrow to grab beast fire. The Dali Mountains are the oldest forest in this area. Roars of ferocious beasts echo everywhere. But all the trash mobs that popped up died instantly. Me and Xiaobai, 1 human, 1 beast, plowed all the way to the core of the mountains, until we found a black valley. A pack of wild wolves was camped here, and the leader was none other than a blaze demon wolf covered in flames. Following the principle of sustainable development, I decided to just behead the leader directly. I activated the near-far skill and appeared right in front of the Wolf King in a blink. Before he could even react, I had already crushed his heart. I grabbed the beast core and bolted immediately. When the dust settled, the wolf pack realized their leader was already dead cold, and they didn't even see the assassin's face. I was just about to head home when my sharp spiritual sense detected a familiar energy pulse. Why is Liu Ruyan here? Turns out after the last battle, she realized her sword art lacked killing intent, so she came to this primeval forest to train. Right now she's fighting a terrifying mountain monster. She was about to cast the sky-opening sword move when the mountain monster suddenly vanished and appeared right behind her in a flash and swiped down with its claw. Liu Ruyan's vision went black and slammed straight into the ground. She was just about to die right there when a purple sword energy shot out and pierced right through the mountain tiger's forehead. Don't know if she's super lucky, or I'm super lucky. Either way, I just saved my future cultivation furnace again. Then I carried the unconscious Liu Ruyan to the roadside. Seeing she wasn't seriously injured, I planned to leave first. But what I didn't expect was that traitor Xiaobai actually left a wooden plaque for Liu Ruyan. The plaque clearly engraved, River Sea Library Security Guard. Before Liu Ruyan woke up, I bailed immediately. I was back home in a few breaths. The Blaze Demon Wolf's core has extremely strong fire energy, but under my violent true energy refining, it soon turned into boiling energy and was absorbed into my body. I took out the medicine cauldron I prepared earlier. Everything's ready, let's start refining. I adjusted the intensity of the flame as I went, and added herbs into the cauldron every now and then. Half an hour passed. A strong herbal scent drifted out. 3 pills successfully refined. What a great harvest. I picked up a spirit-focusing pill that boosts spiritual sense and stuffed it into Xiaobai's mouth. Violent spiritual energy flooded his mind in an instant. Master, this is top tier. Watching him twitch and tremble all over. He looks so embarrassing right now. The next day I went to the library as usual. What I didn't expect was Li Ruyan was already there too, and judging by her posture, she was definitely here for me. What's your relationship with the River Sea Sword God? I was caught off guard by this sudden question. Weird. Did this silly apprentice figure something out? Turns out right before she passed out yesterday, she realized that I, her teacher, was the one who saved her. When she woke up, she saw the wooden token Xiaobai left secretly. I'm the only library guard here, so of course she'd come looking for me. Nope, it's not time to reveal my identity yet. Hey girl, what's gotten into you? If I had any connection to the sword god, would I still be working as a guard here? Sorry about that. I saw Xiaobai cackling so hard he was shaking beside me. As a guy, my sharp sixth sense immediately knew something was off about this whole thing. Don't let me catch you messing around, you hear? After Liu Ruyan left, I decided to look for some pill refining books to study further, but compared to the mysterious heaven pill scripture, these are all just beginner level stuff. Who would have thought a pill refiner like me would end up being the best of the best? Oh well. I'll just slack off and take it easy today. I planned to go shopping at the market after work, but me, the great River Sea Sword God, got ambushed on the way there. I just had to turn past a dead end to get to the market. When a sharp sword energy came straight at me, how dare you? You dare show off sword skills in front of the Grandmaster. But the second I waved my hand to shatter the sword energy, I realized something was wrong. Sure enough, the next second, Liu Ruyan appeared right in front of me. I'm the sword god's disciple. My master sent me to find you. Fine, I'll stop hiding it. I'm actually your senior brother. Greetings, senior brother, Ruyan says. What did master tell you when he sent you to find me? I stared at the wooden token in Liu Ruyan's hand, then glanced at Xiaobai, who was already sweating bullets. Oh, great. You little brat, you're messing with me on purpose, aren't you? After sending Liu Ruyan away, I didn't even bother going to the market anymore, and went straight home. A shadowy space immediately covered the entire house. Xiaobai almost peed his pants in fear. Master, let me explain. I didn't want to listen to his nonsense, and forced him to sign a soul imprint contract with me. From then on, he had no privacy at all. I could sense any of his bad ideas immediately. Xiaobai's legs gave out, and he collapsed on the ground, admitting defeat. System detected. The scheming. Nine-tailed spirit fox is now completely loyal to the host. Reward, 1 wood rule fragment. No way, that works too. The fragment emitted a strong life energy fluctuation in my palm. It even had the magical effect of reviving the dead and healing broken limbs. This must be the so-called power of law, right? I can't imagine how terrifying the real Supreme Realm is. In the following days, I spent every day figuring out how to milk rewards from this crappy system, until a new guy showed up. One day I walked into the library, and was surprised to find that I suddenly had a new work partner. But the second I saw her, the system's urgent alarm went off loudly. System detected, Grandmaster of Formations Li Qinghe. How the hell do you keep running into big shots? Run for your life right now. Name Li Qinghe, lifespan 519 years. Level early stage Emperor Realm. Hi, my name is Li Qing. Please take care of me in the future. Li Qing? Next you'll tell me you're blind too, but everyone uses fake identities when they're out and about, so I didn't call her out on it. Instead, I chatted with her casually about random stuff. Suddenly I thought, didn't I get a true interpretation of Formation Dao a few days ago? If I compete with her in formation skills, and make her admit defeat wholeheartedly, won't that get me a ton of rewards? Thinking of this, I quickly found a corner and started studying formation techniques. But my powerful spiritual sense kept lingering around Li Qinghe the whole time. Just as I expected, she started complaining about the stupid family rule that only passes down skills to male heirs. Like I care about that rule. I'm definitely getting the Myriad Formation map this time. Myriad Formation map? She called herself young lady earlier. Oh, this guy isn't even a man. From then on, I spent most of my energy studying formations like crazy, combined with the Enlightenment illusion, plus the precious treasure left by the old sword saint. My array cultivation improved by leaps and bounds, and I almost reached the Grandmaster threshold. But in Li Qinghe's eyes, I was just a good-for-nothing who only closed eyes to rest. Just wait till I deal with you, brat. Don't you dare beg for mercy then. Finally, one afternoon when the supervisor was on a business trip, a tiny ripple from the array entered the range of my consciousness sea. Li Qingyi is about to make a move. She set up a large illusion array. I guess she wants to wait until nightfall. Drug the guards first, then steal what she wants. But why is the array fluctuation coming towards me? Turns out this girl hates my slacker guts. She wants to test the array's strength on me first. The space around me immediately turned into a terrifying purgatory scene. Awesome, you dared to attack first. I saw through these cheap tricks at a glance. Directly locked onto Li Qingyi outside the array with my divine sense. Just as she was shocked, I made a casual swipe with my hand. Overwhelming divine sense burst out. The illusion shattered instantly like colored glaze. Li Qingyi's jaw almost dropped to her feet. How could this loser break my array? And she also read my lip language. Practice more if you're bad. Don't play if you can't handle losing. Oh my god, the host just swiped casually and made the array grandmaster lose her cool completely. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining a Thunder Law fragment, plus the Big Dipper array diagram. What's your deal? What do you want? Wait a minute, girl. How dare you turn the tables on me when you attacked first? After I ranted at her nonstop like a machine gun, Li Qingyi was left totally speechless. She couldn't get a single word out no matter how hard she tried. When night came, Li Qingyi calmed down, snuck into the third floor of the library. But what she didn't expect was, I had already been waiting by the 10,000 arrays diagram, and checked the array core several times already. Compared to the Big Dipper array, this thing is less interesting than watching Peppa Pig. Even dogs wouldn't want it as a gift. 3 hours later, Li Qingyi finally got past all the layers of traps, and stood in front of the array diagram. Her eyes lit up immediately, and she mumbled to herself, once I master the 10,000 arrays diagram, I'll show that lousy security guard who's boss. Li Qingyi laid low for a while after that. One day I was having breakfast at the library entrance as usual. I was thinking about how to farm more benefits. From this array Grandmaster Noob, Liu Ruyan walked towards me holding a lunchbox. Senior brother, this is the breakfast I made for you. Before I could react, Li Qingyi ran over like crazy, grabbed her and pulled her away. I eavesdropped on their conversation with my divine sense. I was totally speechless right then. Li Qingyi is actually Liu Ruyan's relative. Ruyan, that security guard is bad news. Stay away from him. Liu Ruyan was stunned by this sudden reminder, seeing that she didn't believe it. Li Qingyi added, he slacks off every single day, and has no ambition at all. But he casually broke my array that day. He's definitely a bad guy with ulterior motives. Liu Ruyan suddenly realized, teacher must have sent me here to learn from senior brother's character. Calm, not arrogant or impetuous, he cultivates enlightenment and peace. Li Qingyi saw me chatting and laughing with Liu Ruyan, and she was so anxious. They're chatting today. Tomorrow they'll be kissing for sure. After Liu Ruyan left, I want to challenge you. The rule is if I win, you get out of Zhanghai City forever. If you beat me, I'll kowtow and acknowledge you as my master right here. Who gave you that much confidence? Fish Liang. But an Emperor Realm big shot acknowledging me as master. That's definitely another guaranteed big loot box. A promise is a promise. Whoever cheats is a puppy. We arrived at the suburbs. Li Qingyi waved her hand and activated the array she had set up here in ambush. You came prepared, huh? The contest rule is very simple. Whoever's array has stronger destructive power wins. In the blink of an eye, spiritual energy exploded all around me. I drew a few circles in the air with my finger, a blood-red demon subduing. Array immediately locked onto Li Qingyi. After a loud bang, her lousy array fell apart like it was made of paper. This series of events was totally beyond her comprehension. What the hell, where's my array? Seeing her looking dumbfounded, I didn't feel like wasting time talking to her. Keep your promise, apprentice. She never thought she would lose. When Li Qingyi came to her senses, she felt worse than eating shit. This loser calls Ruyan Jr. sister. Ruyan calls me sister. If I call her master, then that'll mess up the whole hierarchy, right? Finally, Li Qingyi looked as pale as a corpse. A nearly inaudible master, squeezed out from between her teeth anyway. Ding! The Grandmaster of Arrays actually called you master. Host, you're literally a legend. You've obtained one fragment of Array Dao rules. I couldn't stop grinning even if I tried, wider than an AK barrel. When Li Qingyi saw how cocky I was, she burst out wailing right away, and ran off from this embarrassing spot without looking back. When I got home, I couldn't wait to take out the rule fragment. With this thing in hand, I am the Array Core. Innate power commands all cosmic energy. I rule over every shift in the cosmic force. With the Array Eye as support, I can set up a complete Big Dipper array. Use the sky as paper, and stars as ink. The divine punishment from a level 7 grand array. Even a Supreme Realm powerhouse can't walk away alive. Hell yeah, I got one more life-saving trump card now. I went to the library the next day. I thought Li Qinghe would quit out of shame and anger. Turned out she not only showed up, but was also with the supervisor. I eavesdropped on their conversation a little. This Li Qinghe has pretty strong connections, huh? Oh, right, the supervisor is her dad. The afternoon rolled around in the blink of an eye. I was taking a lunch break when suddenly I felt someone poke my arm, so I turned around. Li Qinghe called me master in a super fawning tone. Turns out she pestered Liu Ruyan all last night. After tons of coaxing and pestering, she finally found out that I'm the Sword God's eldest senior brother. But she never mentioned anything about becoming my apprentice at all. Then she started putting on an act. Master, since I'm your disciple now, shouldn't I go meet the Grandmaster too? Not home, no idea where she went. Don't know when she'll be back either. I rattled off all that without stopping. Left Li Qinghe speechless again. Just then Liu Ruyan came to ask me about sword etiquette. I snickered. Time to introduce my little apprentice to you, junior sister, Qinghe. Come over and greet your martial aunt now. Li Qinghe wanted to crawl into a crack in the ground right then. Just 2 days ago, she told people to stay away from me. Now she's my own apprentice. Who does that? Liu Ruyan was totally confused too now. What's going on? Sister Qinghe hated senior brother, right? Oh, junior sister. When Qinghe joined my sect, she was so sincere and full of devotion. She was crying her eyes out. I just couldn't bring myself to reject her. That's nonsense. Ruyan listened to my explanation. Liu Ruyan saw she was just making it worse and made a face that said, okay, stop explaining, I get it. Li Qinghe gave up trying to argue. She felt like there was no point in living anymore. In the following days, I kept studying the power of rules. At this rate, pretty soon, I'll break through to the Supreme Realm. Suddenly, a news alert popped up. That caught my interest. Evil cultivators and demons are causing chaos recently. All citizens are advised to stay home and avoid visitors. These days, I've clearly noticed that the spiritual pressure in the air is getting more and more chaotic every day. This world has a beast tide outbreak every 20 years. Looks like things are going to change in Zhanghai City. I was wondering if my sect should step in when a cold shadow appeared at the library entrance. He was clutching an evil starstone in his palm, pouring magic power into it nonstop. This thing's gonna explode. Just when he finished and was about to throw it inside, a hand reached out from thin air and grabbed the starstone directly. Dude, what the hell? If you mess up my job, I'm not gonna stand for that. The crystal shattered on the spot. Next second, my hand wrapped around the man's throat. I squeezed hard and his head came right off. Then my spiritual sense dove into the deepest part of his soul's memories. Tons of information flooded in. I figured out the whole story immediately. After I disposed of the body, I went straight to the second floor to find Li Qinghe. Your dad is in danger tonight. If anything goes wrong, don't hesitate. Activate your spiritual sense immediately. Thank you, Master. She took the original stone and rushed home right away. From the memories I just saw, I learned these assassins are the vanguard before the beast tide arrives. Their plan is to destroy all checkpoints that could stop the beast tide. And Li Daoming, the curator who controls the city protection array, is their target for assassination? Sure enough, a bloody conflict broke out at the Li residence that night. It lasted until nearly dawn. A brilliant shock light flashed out that finally put an end to this vicious fight. Right now in the upscale residential area, rivers of blood spread everywhere. Severed limbs are scattered all over the ground. And my array spirit stone for the Li father and daughter was literally a chance of rebirth for them. After I arrived at the library, Li Qinghe had already been waiting here for a long time. Master, this is a small token from my dad. Please accept it, Master. Holy crap, I'm gonna drive a supercar and live in a manor as the beast horde draws near. Weird phenomena in Zhanghai City are getting more and more out of control. Higher-ups have also sent strong reinforcements to support Zhanghai, and I also welcomed the first visitor. After moving into the manor, Liu Ruyan looked very solemn. Senior brother, have you heard about the beast horde? Beast hordes are divided into 3 tiers: normal, hard, and abyss. Even the normal tier horde 20 years ago already caused countless people to die. But according to top secret intelligence, this horde is not limited to Zhanghai only. It's a nationwide riot. Its level even reaches the maximum of the Abyss tier. Even with the reinforcements, our odds of winning are very slim. Zhanghai City's senior officials have nowhere to retreat. They are already prepared for the city to fall and people to die. Please pass on the news of Zhanghai's disaster to Master's senior brother. Beg Master to come down the mountain and save all Zhanghai people from the disaster. I've lived here for so long, it's impossible to say I have no attachment to this place. But that hundreds of thousands of Star Beast Legion, I'm not confident I can stop them either. Don't worry, Ruyan. I will contact Master as soon as possible. After she left, I let out a long sigh. No sooner had Lu Ruyan left than I noticed two gloomy energy fluctuations following her. They must be from the same group that bombed the library before. A sword rainbow shot over in the blink of an eye. Before the two men could react, their heads rolled onto the ground. I learned after the soul search, all these people are from an evil cult called the Beast God Cult, and their current top target is actually me, the Zhanghai Sword God. But these two are way too low level. That's all they know. No worries, I'll handle it. As the magic power in the air gets more and more violent, Star Beasts affected by it have become extremely ferocious. Beast riots break out everywhere in the city. That day, I went outside the city as usual to check the situation. But as soon as I got home, a violent aura entered my temporary senses. The villa was completely torn apart and in a total mess. Deep claw marks are all over the walls and floors. But Xiaobai was nowhere to be found. Oh no, even Xiaobai lost control. I located his coordinates directly through our spiritual contract. The farmer's market now looks like it was hit by an airstrike. Xiaobai had returned to his nine-tailed form. With bloodshot eyes, killing crazily here, just as Xiaobai's giant fanged mouth was about to bite a civilian's neck. 7 wolves struck decisively and smacked his butt with a loud crack. Xiaobai's eyes cleared up instantly, before falling into frenzy again. With 7 wolves in my hand, every hit was a critical strike. It only took a few hits to smack Xiaobai back to human form. Then his eyes rolled back, and he passed out on the ground on the spot. Ah, being young is so great. You can fall asleep right away anywhere. Then I activated the wood rule, which instantly covered all the injured civilians. Broken bones were reset. Flesh and blood were restored. All wounds were cured in an instant. After returning home, I checked Xiaobai's condition carefully. The situation is really bad. Xiaobai's sea of consciousness is completely chaotic now. If I don't stop it, he will turn into a bloodthirsty monster before long. Thinking of this, I immediately took out a soul focus pill. With my amazing healing massage, Xiaobai quickly regained his senses. But what I didn't expect was, Xiaobai actually got a blessing in disguise and is about to level up. His true energy surged wildly. In just a little while, a 4th tail popped out from his original 3 tails. Host's pet has mutated from king rank to emperor rank. No need to say anything more. Host is so awesome. Reward, 1 copy of True Forging Manual. Great. You know, I'm in a tight spot right now. So you force a gift pack on me, huh? At least your system has a bit of humanity. After settling Xiaobai down, I quickly dived into the Enlightenment illusion. This True Forging Manual is definitely a D-grade treasure book. It has all kinds of forging methods for divine weapons. As long as I want, I can even forge another Purple Way divine sword. But to make a top-tier weapon, you need top-tier materials too. With my current situation, I can only dream about it. Wait a minute, Nine-Tailed Fox? It's written in the forging material records. Every part of the Nine-Tailed Fox clan is a treasure. Even their fur has great practical uses. Stop hesitating, let's get started right now. Looking at the fast-asleep Xiaobai, I zapped the tip of its tail with a spark. I followed the steps in the True Forging Manual, tweaking it little by little carefully. I kept pouring spiritual energy into the white fur the whole time. Mysterious runes gradually appeared on the white fur's surface and turned into countless glinting cold steel needles. Lastly, I added a small mechanism to it. A delicate and exquisite hidden weapon was officially finished. Let's name it the Storm of Pear Blossom Needles. This thing can easily take out a Shantian Realm cultivator in 1 hit, but to me it's no different from a trivial toy. But I had no idea at that moment that this Storm of Pear Blossom Needles would become the trump card against later beast tides. In the days that followed, the entire Zhanghai city was fully focused on building defense fortifications at top speed. A gloomy mood hung over everyone's hearts. But a sudden piece of breaking news took the whole city by storm. The Zhanghai Sword God has returned, and is currently staying at Sword God Valley. I was completely dumbfounded when I heard that. How come I have no idea about this at all? But looking at the black-robed figure in the live stream, I wouldn't say we look kinda similar. I'd say we look exactly identical. Oh crap, now I'm the unrecognized substitute. All citizens rushed to Sword God Valley like crazy. Even the new armed police department and martial arts academy showed up. To witness the return of the Sword God, this fake Sword God didn't hide his aura at all. His domineering sword energy poured out wildly like he was showing off. Li Ruyan was the first to notice something was off. If Master returned to Zhanghai, how come none of his disciples heard about it? Besides, this person's energy fluctuation is totally different from Master's. Master keeps a low profile living among ordinary people, with a very ethereal and otherworldly aura. But this guy up in the sky is acting all high and mighty. As more and more people gathered on the ground, the fake sword god sent out a voice transmission. I've saved Zhanghai so many times already. It's time I get some interest in return. As soon as he said those words, the crowd below went completely wild. They cheered and offered all their belongings on hand. Shut up, all of you! After letting out a cold snort, the long sword was drawn out of its sheath. Li Ruyan pointed her sword tip straight at the black-robed man. You are not the sword god at all. Seeing this, I also saw through his trick. These must be the lackeys from the beast god cult. They want to use public pressure to force me to show up. Following Li Ruyan's lead, Li Qinghe and his martial arts gym owner father, as well as the martial arts academy head, also stepped forward. In their hearts, the sword god's reputation cannot be tarnished either. Seeing this, the black-robed man stopped putting on an act. Violent sword intent instantly swept through the entire valley. Zhanghai sword god, get out here right now. Some civilians below couldn't withstand the pressure, and immediately started bleeding from their noses and mouths. His original plan was to take all the money first, then carry out a bloody massacre, whether the sword god comes today or not. He's gonna be completely disgraced either way. The black-robed man waved his hand. Spiritual energy spread out for thousands of miles, forming a terrifying gravity belt. Majestic heavenly power descended immediately, trying to shake everyone in the valley to death. Li Ruyan and the others fought with all their might. But Xiantian realm cultivators are no different from ants to grandmasters. Wails, screams, and cries filled the entire valley. It looked like a literal hell on earth. The black-robed man enjoyed the screams coming from the valley. He glanced out of the corner of his eye and suddenly spotted the distant sky, where a purple light lit up on the horizon. You son of a bitch! You rotten bastard! The black-robed man was stunned for a second. Before he could even react, a purple-red light shot across thousands of miles and arrived right in front of him. His heart and lungs stopped working instantly, but it was already too late for him to run away. The violet sword carried tens of thousands of thunderbolts and instantly pierced through his chest. Right after that, another black-robed figure arrived and pulled the sword out of his chest cavity. It was the same black robe, but the spiritual pressure it emitted was way stronger than the previous one. The pressure in the valley dissipated immediately. Even the howling wind stopped abruptly. The people below were crying tears of joy, as if they had seen a real god. This is the real Lord Sword God. At this moment, I stared at the black-robed man on the ground with a serious face. When the violet sword pierced through his body just now, a weird rune faintly flashed on his chest, and the very next second, the rune's light exploded violently. The black-robed man regained vitality as if waking from a nightmare. Death substitution spell? He saw the boiling, killing intent in my eyes, just as the sharp edge of the violet sword was about to land on his forehead. The black-robed man roared wildly towards the distant sky. My lord, save me. Suddenly, the space in front of him shattered and exploded. An old man wearing a gold mask stepped forward. He reached out and crushed the deadly sword easily. From his imposing aura, I sensed the power of rules. He's obviously at the same level as me. Both are half-step supremes. Without hesitation, I spread my hands. I directly took out a worn-out array diagram. I raised my hand and made several mysterious moves toward the stars. The sky is the canvas. The 7 stars are the array eyes. The Big Dipper constellation instantly connected as one. How dare you set up an array in front of me? You're asking for death. The 7 stars heavenly array is already completed. You're the one asking for death. Vast divine power of heavenly punishment poured down. Tens of thousands of star rays turned into sharp swords and fell. They instantly engulfed the old man's Dharma body. When the old man reappeared in front of everyone, his whole body was covered with dense bloody holes. It looked like he'd been shot through by thousands of arrows. The man in black robes saw this heavenly vision. He was literally scared shitless. The supremely arrogant lord that was all high and mighty just now just got wiped out like that. The masked old man collapsed to his knees on the ground. He was gasping heavily for air. He suddenly lifted his head. His eyes showed the ruthlessness of a last-ditch fight. After a burst of wild laughter, his skin started cracking. Blood spurted out from his pores. For the divine cult, I have no regrets dying for this. Damn, this old guy is actually gonna self-destruct. He locked onto my figure tightly. One red and one purple thunderbolt shot straight up to the clouds. Li Daoming in the valley watched the scene above. He figured out everything instantly. This kind of mutually assured destruction move. Of course, the sword god can dodge this. But if this maniac rushes into the city, the entire Jianghai city will be completely wiped out. But this is the final strike of a half-step supreme. I'm afraid even the sword god can't. He didn't finish the rest of his sentence. Silence spoke louder than words here. Sobs and cries kept coming from the crowd. Liu Ruyan was already covered in tear streaks by now. She struggled to go and save her teacher. Sadly, she was too late. The red and purple thunder crashed into each other violently. It looked like imprisoned dragons were fighting to the death in the clouds. The loud roar sounded just like the apocalypse had come, even from 10,000 meters away. The resulting shockwaves still destroyed rows of buildings. The next second, the whole world was covered in bright daylight. Everything went dead silent. No sound could be heard at all. No one knew how much time passed. The white light finally faded amid people's anxious waiting. Lord Sword God won. No one knew who yelled that first. The crowd immediately burst into thunderous cheers. I was standing there. Though my clothes were torn, I still held my sword and stood above the clouds. The crisis was over. I didn't stick around. I waved and left this troublesome spot. It's not that I'm being pretentious. It's because this old man's explosion really messed me up bad. If I hadn't summoned my clone at the last second, and took most of the impact, I'd either be dead or half dead right now. Even so, I still got pretty badly hurt. But his self-destruction let me gain new insights into the Supreme Realm. This old guy used his life as a bomb to show me how the rules work. How sweet of him. I reckon in just a few days, I can fully break through to the Supreme Realm. For the next few days, the people of Jianghai were celebrating like it was New Year. The previously depressing atmosphere was completely gone. Every corner of the city was full of people, talking about the legend of the Jianghai Sword God. With Senior Sword God here, Jianghai City will be safe forever. At the same time, deep in the wastelands of northwest Longo, a black shadow was sitting on the Seabone throne. The pressure he emitted was actually dozens of times more terrifying than the masked old man's. Enlightenment Venerable died in Jianghai. Humph. Interesting. Since the Battle of Sword God Valley, I've been hiding in the Enlightenment Illusion Realm. The scene of the old man self-destructing replayed in front of my eyes over and over again, until the 28th time he died in the replay. I had fully mastered the power of rules within it. The opportunity has come. To advance, I sealed the entire space of the villa area. The fragments of the thunder and wood laws burst out amazing energy in my palm. Thunder roared like a dragon in the sky. Withered wood on the ground sprouted new life. The auras of destruction and rebirth blended together. They seemed to be on the verge of merging. This vision lasted the entire night, until the red sun rose from the east. I slowly opened my eyes. I yawned lazily, and right now, the massive spiritual power in my body surged like an endless ocean. No half-step supreme can ever match this power. I will definitely protect Jianghai City. Even Jesus can't touch him, I said. Xiaobai saw that I'd successfully leveled up. It pounced right at me. It showered me with non-stop flattery. It praised me like I was way more powerful than a god. After all, when a person attains immortality, even his livestock rise to heaven. Sticking with me sure won't leave it short of benefits. I tidied up a bit quickly. Then I headed to the library again. It's not that I care much about this job. It's just that after being there for so long, it feels like my home base now. Sure enough, I ran into Liu Ruyan waiting for me right as I walked in. After listening carefully to the secret report she brought, I frowned tightly. It really wasn't going to be that easy. The beast god cult is way bigger than I expected. They worship star beasts as their gods. Every beast tide is launched under their guidance to massacre human cities. Also, the cult is full of hidden experts. That half-step supreme old guy is only one of the honored elders. Besides, they have real actual supreme big shots too. They took a huge L in Jianghai this time. In the future, they will target Jianghai and Me, the sword god, with even crazier raids. Sigh. Everything else is easy to handle, but these people blow themselves up at the drop of a hat. I really can't handle that. Plus, the enemy's in the dark, and I'm in the open. I can only hope this crappy system drops some more rewards for me. I promised Liu Ruyan I'd relay the message to the master for sure, but seeing how she's been running around non-stop for me, I actually felt pretty bad for her. Come to my house tonight. Wait, no, not me. The master has something to see you about. I get off work late. You can go by yourself. Liu Ruyan immediately got as happy as a 300-pound kid. Saying she'd go home to dress up, she left the library right away. But I didn't expect that right after sending Liu Ruyan off. Li Qingyi showed up. He was super shocked by the battle at Sword God Valley a couple days ago. He kept pestering me to let him meet his grandmaster. It's not that I'm intentionally making things hard for him. He's way smarter than Liu Ruyan. If he figures out the truth by accident, will I ever get a peaceful life again? Seeing that I refused no matter what he said, Li Qingyi pulled a rare old book out of his pocket. 4 big characters were written on the cover. Tiandi Tongshou, perish with heaven and earth. That's weird, I don't know why. I feel like I've heard these 4 words somewhere before. After flipping through it quickly, I sucked in a sharp breath. It's for self-harm. You silly kid, can't you wish me well for once? But suddenly I had a light bulb moment. Can my clone self-destruct? If it can, that'd be so freaking awesome. Xingyi, I won't read your book for nothing. Take these few innate elixirs. I have some urgent business to take care of. I'm gonna head out first. Realizing he got scammed, Li Qingyi started cursing loudly. You're just straight up lying to an honest person. Time flew by and it was night soon. Liu Ruyan brought Dali and Shaoli to my house. I had already changed my appearance by then, turning into the Zhanghai sword god. The second she saw me, she knelt down with a thud. Master. Between members of the same sect, you don't need to be so formal. Master, why are you wearing a hat and mask even inside the house? You silly girl. Things about the adult world are none of your business? Then she presented the gifts from the medicine realm. Inside the gift box, 1,000-year-old Ganoderma, 10,000-year-old snow ginseng, and cordyceps. All kinds of rare herbs were gathered there. The most amazing thing among them was a battle robe with red dragon patterns. As long as you inject a trace of true energy into it, the dragon patterns will move around on their own. Great, great, great. This apprentice is definitely worth spoiling. You've already entered the innate realm. It's time for you to learn new martial arts. This is an emperor-level cultivation technique. Go back and study it carefully. If you don't understand something, just ask your senior brother. Liu Ruyan was so excited by this, she knelt down with another thud, thanking me for passing down the technique to her. After she left, I stayed home and focused on studying. This perish with heaven and earth technique. I studied it over and over again, and found out the logic behind it is actually super simple, but I don't dare test it on my real body. If I actually blow up, everyone would laugh their asses off. Thinking of that, I summoned a blood god clone. I lowered its combat power to 120 of my real bodies. I didn't even dare say the chant out loud. I could only send the mantra to the clone via soul connection. The clone's body instantly filled with blood, golden light leaking out of its nose and mouth. Good thing I set up a barrier ahead of time. Otherwise, my mana would be gone for good. This self-destruction doesn't just deal insane damage. Its wind-up is also surprisingly fast. Anyone at the same level who's slow to react will get killed instantly. Qingye, oh my dear Qingye! You've gotten your master such an amazing treasure. As days go by, Zhanghai City is running out of time. Until one gloomy afternoon, a tiny ripple popped up within my spiritual sense range. I snapped my eyes open. Ferocious beasts surged like a tsunami in the distance, charging straight at the city's defense line. Sharp, urgent alarm bells rang out everywhere. People immediately remembered the nightmare. From 20 years ago, when ferocious beasts ruled everything. The beast horde has broken out right now. All the powerful experts stationed in Zhanghai gathered on top of the city wall. There's the Xindu Police Department fully armed to the teeth. The Martial Arts Academy led by Elder Li. Plus a bunch of people willing to fight to the death for Zhanghai. Rogue cultivators who volunteered to join the fight. Some of them are wanderers from far away eager to get home. Some were born into common grassroots families, but still step up to do their part at this life or death moment. Look, dust filled the sky coming from the Dali Mountains direction. A black wave was speeding towards the city wall. The footsteps of tens of thousands of star beasts rumbled like heavy thunder, shaking the whole ground to its core. We will rest here forever. and pass our will onto the next living person. Only by doing this can we fight against this cruel world. Heroes, wake up. Heroes, laugh your hearts out. Heroes, let's start the fight. As the police chief roared at the top of his lungs. The Battle of Zhanghai officially began. Right now I'm standing on the terrace, pushing my spiritual sense to its maximum range, monitoring the situation at the city gate. Xiaobai knew full well that they had a slim chance of surviving the beast horde. Master, are we still not leaving? Within my spiritual domain, the beast horde's energy signals were wild and chaotic, but there was one presence lying dormant among them that even I was extremely wary of. It's not the right time yet. I need a perfect moment to take them out with one strike. On top of the city wall, hundreds of thermal rounds were fired all at once. Fireballs exploded right in the middle of the horde, taking out scores of ferocious beasts instantly, but there were just too many of them. They pushed through the barrages, stepping on the remains of their own kind, coming wave after wave. The black wave kept getting closer and closer to the city wall. Artillery battalion, don't stop firing. Flames immediately erupted into the sky outside the city wall. A gap opened up in the beast horde, but it was filled up by more strange beasts in the blink of an eye. Only low-level magic beasts get killed by artillery fire. The stronger ones can already negate the damage. King-level star beasts can even tank it with their bare bodies. They walked through the sea of fire, getting closer to Zhanghai's defense network step by step. Some small, agile beasts even already made it to the city protection barrier. Everyone get ready to counterattack. Li Daoming and Elder Li activated their true essence at the same time. Sharp sword rays merged into the city defense barrier. Swords cut through the strange beasts like a storm, taking their lives. The area below the wall quickly turned into a bloodbath. But for the strange beast army, this was barely a drop in the bucket. More terrifying strange beasts came rushing over. With their bodies covered in wounds, they forced their way into the sword energy circle. They rammed the city wall madly with their horned foreheads. The new warriors on the wall used all their trump cards, continuously hunting down the star beasts that broke through. This apocalyptic defensive battle dragged on from dusk till late at night. People kept getting injured, and new recruits waiting in position took their place. Star beast bones piled up like mountains on the wasteland outside the city. Blood ran everywhere, making it look like hell on earth. Suddenly, loud roars shook the entire wasteland. Several mountain-sized king-level star beasts came rushing over. They slammed violently into the city protection barrier. The next second, the whole world was shaking. The barrier let out a wailing sound, like a soft sob in the woods. Li Daoming, who was in charge of the formation, frowned tightly. These king-level star beasts have extremely high resistance. Even teaming up with Elder Li, it's hard to break through their defense. If this keeps up, the formation will be shattered after just a few more rams. At this critical life-or-death moment, the police chief held a black mechanism in his hand and instantly aimed it at the giant beast's forehead. Rain of Pearls needles. After I invented this thing, I sent a huge batch to the police department anonymously. That's why I'm so confident right now. The silver needles came whistling out and pierced right through the giant beast's head. Its mountain-sized body fell over, crushing scores of strange beasts below it. Elder Li was completely stunned by this sight. Killing a king-level star beast in one hit. That's insanely powerful. What a bunch of animals. All of you, follow me. The chief's voice was hoarse as he ran towards the southeast corner of the wall along the practiced route. Just a few breaths later, a heavy oppressive aura descends. The frenzied giant beast is about to tear the commander apart. The next second, the ambushed police superintendents show up immediately. Each of them holds a black mechanism in their palm. Open fire. After a furious roar, silver needles sweep across the sky like raindrops. Blow the king-class giant beast's skull to pieces. Black mountain ridges collapse one after another. The howls of thousands of beasts echo across the entire wasteland. At the same time, on a lone peak not far away, two shadows are silently watching the changes on the city wall. These losers can't even touch the city wall. You go. The person beside slowly takes off his black robe. A pair of blade-sharp wings spread out. The wings flap, soar straight up to the sky. No one can tell if it's a human or a strange beast. People on the city wall are cheering with joy. The king-class star beast is dead. The remaining ordinary star beasts are nothing to worry about. Old Li and Li Daoming exchange a glance. Hey, they smile. We work really well together as partners. The commander stands on the city wall staring into the distant sky. For some reason, The sense of crisis in his heart never fades. Suddenly, at the border of the plain and forest, a giant bird silhouette appears. It's charging straight towards the city defense line. The next second, sound waves echo across the city wall. Enemy spotted in the northwest. All personnel on high alert. The half-human, half-beast giant bird arrives in an instant. The oppressive aura it gives off scares everyone constantly. Emperor-class star beast. With its appearance, the previously scattered beast tide gathers again. They keep launching deadly charges at the city wall. After the giant bird builds up power, it flapped its wings fiercely. Sharp blade-like feathers hit the city protection barrier like meteors. Cracks instantly spread all over the barrier's surface. At this critical moment, a sharp sword light cuts through the sky. Sword opens the heavenly gate. Liu Ruyan is wearing a white dress. Holds a sword to intercept the enemy. Police commander and Li Qinghe follow right behind. The three start fighting fiercely with the giant bird right away. The battle under the city is not looking good either. The barrier is teetering after taking heavy hits. Battle reports keep coming in. Energy gap detected on the north side. Strange beasts raid from the northwest upper air. Right now, the barrier defense team only has Li Daoming alone holding on to the situation. If he falls too, they'll face barrier break and city massacre. Suddenly, his pupils shrink. He sees an unforgettable heroic scene. Several star warriors act in unison without prior discussion. Jump off the city wall together. Use their bodies to lure strange beasts away from the city protection barrier. To reduce the heavy pressure on the barrier, even though they're quickly swallowed by the beast horde. The next group follows immediately. They face death without fear. The Zhanghai defense battle is way more tragic than expected, but something even more desperate happens. The Emperor-class star beast power is enough to fight a peak grandmaster. Three figures in the sky fly backward and crash onto the city wall. Liu Ruyan and Li Xinghe are covered in blood, fall to the ground gravely injured. The police commander even has an arm ripped off. Over half of Zhanghai's defense forces destroyed now. Everyone stops moving. There's nothing but despair on their faces. A warrior suddenly drops to his knees, tears all over his face. Lord Sword God, please save us. Thump, more star warriors kneel down in unison, as if praying to their god. Even old Li closes his eyes out of exhaustion. The giant bird in midair won't show any mercy for this scene. A bloody massacre is about to happen. Just as it's about to flap its wings, it catches a streak of purple from the corner of its eye. The purple light instantly pierces through its skull. The violent force smashes everything inside its body. The giant bird bursts into a cloud of blood mist with a bang. So they showed their cards ahead of time after all. Almost at the same time, a terrifying voice echoes. Finally lured you out. Zhanghai Sword God. Emperor-level big shot detected, run if you don't want to die. A black shadow, surrounded by black smoke, arrives above the sky in an instant. The aura that I'm extremely afraid of comes exactly from this person. I don't hesitate. Dash straight towards the top of the sky. The Beast God Sect Elder chases closely behind. Hand over your soul contract. Surrender to the God Sect. I'll spare your miserable life. I suddenly turn around. Sky-slaying sword draw technique. The Purple Way Divine Sword leaves its sheath instantly. I plan to catch him off guard. But this domineering sword aura with rule power was actually grabbed single-handedly by the shadow. His 5 fingers clamped down tight. The sword aura exploded with a deafening roar. When I looked at him again, a blood-red giant bell appeared behind him. Bloodlight gushed out violently. Drawing on the heavy laws of heaven and earth, my heart skipped a beat. The Supreme Realm also has rank divisions. After entering the Supreme Realm, there are Emperor Supreme and Heavenly Supreme above that. This guy in black is at least at the Emperor Supreme level. If you don't practice cultivation, seeing me is like looking at the moon from a dry well. If you do practice cultivation, seeing me is like an ant looking up at the sky. The next second, the Supreme slapped the ancient bell. The eerie bell made my heart twitch suddenly. All the blood in my body was boiling, trying to break out of my body. I fought through the sharp pain. My 2 fingers rapidly formed hand seals. The Big Dipper resonated with each other. A star magic array immediately pressed down on the Supreme's head. Kill him for me. The Supreme waved his hand to activate the law of blood. The bloodlight surged upwards against the current, piercing straight through the clouds, directly shattering the star array. All the celestial light vanished. Before I could even react, the Supreme was right in front of me in the blink of an eye. I rushed up and struck out with my palm. I was sent flying backwards immediately. Above the clouds, purple and red ripples kept clashing against each other. Even when I wielded the Ziwei Divine Sword to its full potential, I still couldn't block his attacks. After just a few breaths, I was already badly injured all over. Our strength ratio is like 30 to 70, you know? In 3 minutes, I'd get torn into 7 pieces. Seeing him getting more and more arrogant, I knew the time had come. I sheathed my sword. The heaven-slashing sword skill burst out again, but this time I charged at the Supreme, along with the sword rainbow. Right as he waved his hand to shatter the sword rainbow, my voice transmission rang in his ears. "I'll help you live as long as heaven." The next second, my eyes burst out with light as bright as the sun. "He's crazy!" Fear instantly flooded the Supreme's mind. A point-blank self-destruction from a Supreme Realm cultivator. Even he couldn't withstand that. Boom. Perished together with heaven and earth. The explosion caused the void to collapse. All of my massive true energy poured into the Supreme's body. In the dark night, it looked like a blazing sun had appeared and exploded. The aftershock swept across the clouds. Even Zhanghai City, 10,000 meters below, couldn't escape the impact. The apocalyptic storm raged for who knows how long. Most of the endless beast horde was turned to ash. The city protection barrier also, after its final act of protecting the citizens, completely shattered. But no one cared about all that anymore. Endless ashes drifted down from the sky. People still couldn't find any trace of their sword god. Elder Li sensed the remaining aura in the sky. He looked as if he had aged another 10 years. His aura is completely gone. Senior sword god perished together with the evil cultivator demon. Liu Ruyan collapsed to the ground. Her eyes were empty and lifeless. She couldn't accept this blow. Li Qingyi was sobbing uncontrollably. I finally got to meet my master's master, but this meeting was a final goodbye. "That was awesome, master. I didn't know you had that trick up your sleeve." "Yep." The one that self-destructed was my Dharma body. But this Dharma body held 90% of my cultivation power. Its destruction means I'll be weak for a long time. But we won after all. Li Qingyi did a huge favor this round. Suddenly I frowned tightly. I remembered something super important. "System, you dead. System, where's my big reward pack?" What the hell? The host actually heavily injured an Emperor Supreme Realm with just a clone. Dude, I'm telling you, don't be this absurd. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Emperor-grade treasure Sun Shooting Bow. I felt a rush of joy in my heart. Finally got a god-tier item drop. But as I thought over the system's words, I suddenly found something weird to complain about. He's badly injured, but not dead. Right now, the city defense troops are cleaning up the mess. In a desolate corner, a wisp of black blood crawled out of the dirt. It instantly possessed a new warrior. Good thing I kept a trump card. When I recover my strength, no one in the whole city will survive. Li Daoming, who sensed the bloody aura, rushed over with everyone else quickly. Their faces were filled with fear. They never thought that even Lord Sword God's self-sacrifice. Self-destruction couldn't kill this demon. A starved camel is still bigger than a horse. With a wave of his hand, the group fell to the ground in a mess. Right when they were about to die, a shooting star-like light sliced through the night. It shot accurately into the Supreme's forehead. The terrifying heat directly turned him into nothingness. Not even a speck left. This scared the crap out of everyone. Holy crap. Host actually killed an Emperor Realm big shot twice. You're pretty brutal, huh? Congratulations to Host for obtaining the Law Core. Damn, another drop? Total score. This Sun Shooting Bow is extremely mysterious. It contains the Fire Law and Space Law. Even when I was extremely weak just now, it could still shoot an arrow with earth-shattering power. If I master it fully, I'd be completely unstoppable. This Law Core is also a super rare item. It can gather rule energy. It gives a huge boost to Supreme Realm cultivation. Don't be reckless, farm steadily for sure. As night fell, sky lanterns rose one by one over the night sky of Zhanghai City. Every household set up a memorial tablet to pay tribute to the Zhanghai Sword God. Actually, for me, it's pretty great being dead. All my beef with the Beast God cult ends once I'm dead. For both Zhanghai and me, it saves us a ton of trouble. Liu Ruyan went into seclusion right after the beast died. Losing her master hit her really hard. She swore to wipe out the entire Beast God cult, to avenge her master, worthy of being the future empress. But Li Qingyi is way smarter than Liu Ruyan. The more she thought about it after calming down, the weirder it felt. How could everything be that coincidental? The next day, I walked into the library. Li Qingyi was already there waiting for me. Grandmaster isn't dead, right? The one who perished with the demon was a Dharma body, wasn't it? Holy shit, how did she figure that out? Then she explained her whole reasoning to me. When the beast tide arrived, my master was in danger. And I didn't even show up at all. He just showed me the perish together skill right before. Then the sword god self-destructed immediately after. Plus, after my master died, I didn't look sad at all. And now I even have free time to hang out in the upper palace. All clues prove the sword god isn't dead at all. Her entire chain of reasoning caught me completely off guard. When I saw I couldn't hide it anymore, I had no choice but to admit it. You're pretty clever, I'll give you that. To shut her up, I gave her the simplified version of the Big Dipper array. I lied and said it was a gift from her grandmaster. She was over the moon about it. She patted her chest and promised me she would never leak the secret. In the following days, I stayed in the Enlightenment illusion realm studying the sun-shooting bow. I got more and more proficient with the fire law and space law. After thousands of bow draws, a thin layer of sword intent started swirling around the bow body. After I kept pouring more sword intent into it, I suddenly drew it to full length. The arrow looked like a divine blade fresh out of its sheath. I released the arrow. The entire world seemed to shatter. It even shot a collapsing black hole into the void. Wow, this D-tier weapon is really something else. Let's call this move Sword Opens the Heavenly Gate. I thought I could lay low and grind levels, then shock everyone later. But the arrival of an uninvited guest dragged me into a new mess again. One afternoon, a middle-aged man walked out of Zhanghai Airport. He had silver hair, with an extraordinary aura. The most eye-catching thing was the heavy bow on his back. It was none other than Liu Wushuang, the sword god supreme from the Supreme Alliance. The Supreme Alliance is the top force in the Imperial capital. They had previously made a blood oath with the beast god cult to stay out of each other's way. But a few days ago, the beast god cult's Vermilion Bird Emperor was shot dead by a mysterious person in Zhanghai. The only bow-wielding supreme in the whole world is Liu Wushuang, so the blame naturally fell right on him. Liu Wushuang's arrival caused a huge stir in Zhanghai. The authorities rushed out to receive him, but Liu Wushuang completely ignored them. He only came to Zhanghai for one reason: to find the Zhanghai sword god. I stared at the endless headlines on my phone, full of contempt. He was nowhere to be seen during the beast tide. Now that his reputation is ruined, he shows up immediately, but suddenly the system alarm went off. Ding! Emperor-level powerhouse detected. He's coming for you. You can still run away right now. This guy actually lives for another 500 years. I grinned evilly. Provocation routines and other reward-earning schemes popped into my head right as a powerful aura descended within the Spirit Stone range. Tiny little Zhanghai City has two supremes now. Even an idiot can tell they know each other. As the sword god's eldest senior brother, I definitely became the person he's looking for. Liu Wushuang landed above the manor. Speak. What's the relationship between your master and the Zhanghai sword god? After listening to what he said, I roughly figured out the whole story. He's such a total patsy, right? But this Liu Wushuang has no ill intentions. First, he wants to clear his name. Second, he's super interested in fellow martial artists. Watch me fool you real good. The Zhanghai sword god you're looking for is exactly my martial uncle. Go tell your martial uncle. I, Liu Wushuang, challenge him to a duel at dawn 3 days later. At Lishui Lake in Zhanghai, Qinyang froze for a second when he heard that he wasn't really panicking at all. He was actually a little excited. This is perfect timing. The system just gave a notification earlier. He didn't get a chance to bring it up himself. Now Liu Wushuang brought it up on his own. That saves me a ton of trouble. The duel is in 3 days. If I can get under Liu Wushuang's skin by then, I'll definitely get a reward from the system. Nice, you asked for this. With that thought, Qinyang nodded and cupped his hands, saying, Don't worry, senior. I'll definitely pass this message to my little martial uncle. But I have to tell you one thing first. Qinyang changed the topic and said calmly, Whether he comes or not is up to him. You should be prepared for that. Humph, suit yourself. Liu Wushuang unslung his black bow, ran 2 fingers across its surface. He said calmly, Once you pass the message. None of this will have anything to do with you anymore, kid. I will wait there to settle all grudges. Don't let me down. If your martial uncle doesn't show up, don't blame me for using other methods to get him to come. After saying that, Liu Wushuang didn't linger. He turned around and left right away. He'd said everything he needed to say. If the sword god doesn't come, it'll be a huge letdown for him. Finally, he's gone. Qinyang watched Liu Wushuang's receding back. He breathed a sigh of relief. After that whole back and forth, it's finally over. 3 days of buffer time is more than enough to figure out how to get under his skin. Should we duel with swords or fight with magic? Just as Qinyang was thinking, he suddenly felt a tight grip on his thigh. Something soft was clinging to it. wrapped tightly around his leg. Master, Xiaobai rubbed against his leg, looked up at Qinyang, grinned showing his little fangs, wearing a little face that begged for praise. How was it? How was it? Didn't your favorite fairy do amazing back there? Your performance. Qinyang thought back to Xiaobai's little act just now. You call that good? It was just barely passable. But still, it did help avoid some trouble. Kept Liu Wushuang from pushing us further. You deserve some credit for the effort at least. With that thought, Qinyang looked at Xiaobai and said, I'll give you 2 pieces of advice. What? Xiaobai reacted, perking his ears up, looking at Qinyang expectantly. His foxtail wagged non-stop. Your servant is all ears. Great acting. Don't do it again. Qinyang grabbed the back of Xiaobai's neck and tossed him onto the ground next to him. If you're that bad, practice more next time. At the same time, outside Fuhai residential area, 2 figures were speeding through the air, like shooting streaks of light, rushing quickly towards Qinyang's villa. Master, we're almost there. Don't be so anxious. Lin Mofeng was following behind Elder Li, said loudly. Senior Liu Wushuang knows his limits when he acts. He would never hurt a junior. After they got the news that Liu Wushuang had left, Elder Li had been in his office, unable to sit still the whole time. He was terrified that Liu Wushuang would attack Qinyang, so he finally couldn't hold back and came with Lin Mofeng to this side. Oh, Mofeng, I'm just worried. Elder Li sighed and looked up and said, Qinyang is a disciple of Senior Sword God. When Senior Wushuang suddenly visited, he was caught off guard. If he offended Senior Wushuang in any way, the consequences would be unthinkable. As he said that, he lowered his eyes and said solemnly, Right now, Senior Sword God is doing this for the Zhanghai Immortal Market, and Qinyang is his disciple. We should do our best to protect him. Otherwise, how can we repay Senior's kindness? Master, you... Lin Mofeng heard this and understood what Elder Li was thinking. As a huge fan of the Sword God, he really valued Qinyang a lot. If Qinyang hadn't already taken Senior Sword God as his master, Elder Li would probably have taken him as a disciple himself. With that thought, Lin Mofeng said, Master, don't worry. Senior Sword God has done great favors for Zhanghai. No matter how reckless Senior Wushuang is, would never lose his mind. Lin Mofeng looked down at his arm. If it ever comes to that, I'd stop him no matter what. As he spoke, a powerful aura suddenly came from ahead. The 2 of them looked over at the same time. They saw that up ahead, a figure with a bow on his back was rushing towards them quickly. The surrounding space shook as he approached. Huh? Why are you 2 here? Liu Wushuang reigned in his power and stopped in front of Elder Li and the others, looking quite surprised. Senior Wushuang, when Elder Li saw Liu Wushuang right in front of him, he grew anxious and subconsciously wanted to ask him something. But before he could say anything, Lin Mofeng tugged at the corner of his clothes. Lin Mofeng shook his head and gave him a suggestive look. Though Elder Li is highly respected in Zhanghai, to Liu Wushuang, he is just an outsider after all. If he negotiates rashly, it might cause negative consequences. It's better that I handle this negotiation. Greetings, Senior Wushuang. This junior and Elder Li were just... Lin Mofeng cupped his hands and probed softly. Did your trip go as planned? As planned? Liu Wushuang frowned deeply, snorted unpleasantly and said, That Qin kid is really tough both in mouth and spine. I've been going back and forth with him for ages, and he still refuses to tell me where the Sword God is. As soon as he finished speaking, Elder Li and Lin Mofeng's faces changed drastically. They glanced at each other, and were both stunned for a moment. Qinyang actually didn't say a single word. You have to understand, this is a Supreme Realm expert, and a top executive of the Supreme Alliance. If you anger the Supreme Alliance, the consequences will be unthinkable. Senior Wushuang, Qinyang is young and naive. He must have offended you greatly. Please forgive him. Elder Li quickly cupped his hands, his old body trembling. A great man has a big heart. Please don't hold it against him. I apologize to you on his behalf. Liu Wushuang looked at Elder Li and thought, Is he really worth that much to you? Senior Wushuang, you must have known something before you came here. Seeing this, Lin Mofeng spoke up right after. Lord Sword God has saved our city of Zhanghai from peril many times, and turned the tide every single time. Qinyang is just his disciple. Don't worry, you 2. I'm not going to make a big deal out of this with a kid. Liu Wushuang waved his hand, looked towards Qinyang's villa and said, I was just scaring him. Didn't expect this kid to be so stubborn and fearless. He'd rather die than give away the Sword God's secret. Senior, I'm afraid you've got it wrong. Hearing this, Elder Li tried to explain again. Qinyang is only a disciple of the Sword God. It's understandable if he doesn't know enough. Liu Wushuang snorted coldly and cut him off immediately. He crossed his arms and scoffed. Only a disciple of the sword god. You're still trying to lie to me even now. That Qin kid already admitted it himself. Admitted. Elder Li and Lin Mofeng were stunned for a second. They couldn't process what just happened. Admitted what? Do you really not know, or are you pretending? Liu Wushuang squinted and stared at Elder Li and Lin Mofeng, and said slowly, This so-called sword god is that kid's martial uncle. They are from the same sect. They are basically family. What? Hearing this, Lin Mofeng and Elder Li were shocked. Their faces turned pale in an instant. This bombshell of information left them completely flustered. Star Marshal Police Department Conference Room. Liu Wushuang's information is displayed on the Chenji display platform. All top innate realm experts are gathered here. Everyone looks serious. They all look towards the police chief in the main seat, waiting for him to speak. Chief, sir? Do you have anything else to add? Lin Mofeng said in a low voice. My teacher and I have already told everyone all the information we know just now. You owe us an explanation at the very least. I'm sorry, everyone. The police chief sat in the main seat, looking down at the table, avoiding eye contact with everyone else. I was the one who reported that Li Zixuan is the sword god's disciple to the senior envoy. As he spoke, he looked up at everyone. If you want to scold me, I'll take it. You should know that the new Marshal Police Department is under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Alliance. And for a senior envoy like Liu Wushuang who holds the official token and visits the branch in person, he has absolute commanding authority, and as the head of the Armed Police Command. Since he is in this position, he must follow the arrangements of the Supreme Alliance, without the slightest hesitation, and handle affairs impartially. Even if it happens all over again, he would still make the same choice. Let it go for now. Commander, you had no choice in this matter. Senior Wushuang came over. You didn't have many other options. Lin Mofeng shook his head and said, When you hold a high position, many things are just not easy. Let's focus on the matters at hand first. Mofeng is right. Let's leave the past behind for now. If you feel guilty about it, just think carefully about how to compensate Senior Sword God later. Elder Li nodded and said, What's done is done. There's no point talking about it more. The top priority now is to stop that scheduled duel. As soon as he finished speaking, the conference room went quiet. Everyone fell silent one after another, be it the former master or the sword god. Both have done great favors for the Zhanghai clan. The former turned the tide during the Beast Tide, and the sword god even took action personally. Every Xiantian cultivator present owes him their life. For both emotional and rational reasons, no one wants to see them get hurt. What a mess this is. Li Daoming sighed in frustration, looked at Lin Mofeng and said, Why is Senior Wushuang being so stubborn? No matter how you look at it, the sword god didn't provoke him, right? Why is he pestering him non-stop like this? There might be some secret behind this, Lin Mofeng said hesitantly, thinking back on what he knows about Senior Wushuang. Though he is not exactly calm and gentle, he is the type of playful old trickster. He is not bad by nature. He even helped the Lin family a few times before, but for some unknown reason now, he keeps pestering the sword god non-stop. If they actually start fighting, I'm afraid it will be bad for our sword god. Elder Li stroked his white beard, shook his head, and sighed. Senior Wushuang is not an unreasonable person, but no one wants to see the sword god come out of seclusion. What's more, he is the junior brother of the Zhanghai sword god. As soon as he finished speaking, the conference room fell into silence.